Hi, it's Tim Hagen from Progress Coaching, and welcome to another episode of Coaching Conversations. And I wanted to make you aware of something very cool that we're doing on a subscription basis, and we'll put a link in each one of our episodes. But every Wednesday, we're going to be doing what we call an audio podcast workshop. That workshop will be roughly about 14 to maybe 20 minutes per episode, with each month having a theme from a coaching model, using feedback strategically, to coaching self-awareness, and so on. So if you could look in the body or in the content description of each episode, and you will see a link where you can join this subscription. These are literally 4 workshops every month, teaching specific strategies to address a particular area of workplace coaching, as it relates, again, to things like awareness, motivation, teamwork, and what have you. Here's the cool thing. It's only $10 per month, and each month you will get a handout that we will follow along with. So we also give you a tool for you to take notes as we go through each episode. We hope you'll check it out.
One of the great things we can all do when we're coaching and leading our teams is to do 2 fundamental things, especially during these times when you hear things like the Great Resignation. Over 40% of employees are now looking for jobs due to stress, anxiety, workplace flexibility. There's a lot of things challenging leaders today. And let me make a very bold comment. There is no greater tool than a leader conversing and coaching his or her employees. Now, there are 2 things that every leader must do during these times. The first thing is we need to find out what motivates every one of our employees. We have to find out what motivates them, what turns them on. Here's why. When we do that, we position ourselves to truly understand what they want. It's simple, right? Yet leaders make this mistake. We try to motivate based on what the job requires or what we want or the metrics that are currently being deployed within the organization. There's nothing wrong with those things. But if somebody has a goal outside of what those numbers or metrics or goals are that the organization wants, it's like 2 ships passing in the dark. Number 2, we have to create an emotional connection. So I want to share with you a very quick story. We have a service we do here at Progress Coaching called Coaching Pods. And PODS stands for Personal Opportunity Development Sessions. Essentially what we do is we assess our groups every single month. We find out what they want to uncover in a group session, what situations, what circumstances are facing them right now. And then we also produce a one-on-one conversation with every single member. It's really a cool service. And we were talking to a young manager, and he was, I would say, not really enthralled with doing coaching, probably felt it was the program of the month, and if there has never been a better time to coach than now, I don't know what it is. Yet here's the funny thing. We're coaching every day. Every time we talk to our people, we're coaching people to stay or leave. Nobody has neutral interpretation to their day at the end of the day when their spouse says, honey, how was your day? And he or she says, neutral, didn't have a feeling from 8 to 5. Now I bet you're laughing. So we're coaching every day. We're conversing every day. We might as well be good at it. So this young manager was really struggling, just inherited a team, was relatively new to leadership, and he made a comment to me, and I'll never forget it. He said, I have people looking for jobs. How do I convince them to stay? And I said, what do you mean? He said, how do I convince them to stay? I said, maybe you don't. He said, well, I was looking for something more. And I said, look, this isn't manipulation. People are going through a lot of stuff. I have 2 questions for you. Do you have a list of your employees, and do you know exactly what motivates them? Not assume. Not what motivates you, not your interpretation. Do you specifically know? He said, no, I don't. I said, awesome. How would you describe your emotional connection from the perspective of your employees in terms of your investment in them? Not what you perceive, not what your interpretation is. What would they say? He said, honestly, I don't know. I said, that's the answer. He said, what do you mean that's the answer? I said, if you don't know, it probably means you're not as emotionally connected as you could be. I said, well, okay, I would agree with that. So he sat down with all of his employees, and one by one, he asked them, what motivates you? Where do you want to end up? If you don't know what that job or what that situation looks like, describe what you might be doing. He calls me up and he said, after my first 5, he said, I had no idea what these people wanted until I asked them. And I said, what did you notice behaviorally in their response to you? He said, we had great conversations. I said, what did you learn about yourself you're committed to improving? He said, I got to ask more questions and just shut up. And I said, what are you going to continue to do going forward based on what you learned? And then I stumped him. He said, I don't know, but he was enthusiastic to learn. I said, when you find out what somebody wants, and it's a bucket, think about people. We use the term bucket list all the time. Fill up that bucket. Articles, ideas, books. If somebody told you they want to do XYZ, fuel that passion. See, we tend to think when we motivate, we have to motivate only on the job. No, you motivate the person who's doing the job. So during these times, we have to figure out one fundamental thing. What motivates each and every one of our employees, not what we assume. Number 2, once we find out what motivates each person, and we take our time and we invest in that person, we make it tougher for them to leave us. It's called talent retention. Now, it seems simple, right? Let me share this with you. 3 companies that are in our coaching pods community, we asked, I think it was 46 managers, 3 different companies. The companies don't know each other. 3 different companies. Only 1 person said, yes, I have a list of what motivates my employees. 45 people did not. So think about it. If somebody says to you, I ultimately want to go into some part of the company that maybe is outside the department, and you help them and you say, you know what, John? If I invest in you and position you to get what you want, and I help you, what's the reciprocation? What can we do to kind of help each other out during this time? I'll let you in on a secret. Not all your employees are going to retire with you. So what you do is you maximize their progress. You maximize their investment in themselves. And when you maximize your investment in them, they will go through a wall for you. So number 1, find out what motivates them. Number 2, once you understand what motivates each and every one of your employees, invest in them. It creates an emotional connection that it's really, really, really tough for an employee to leave a leader like that. Good luck. Thank you for listening to another episode of Coaching Conversations by Tim Hagen and Progress Coaching. Now, our company is always coming out with new and innovative solutions to help leaders coach their employees. And recently, we just created a new service called Coach to You, where leaders can pick and choose topics and assign 7 to 21-day programs for employees to learn and, more importantly, apply actions and then reflect and share what they're going to do going forward as a result of the learning. It's called Coach to You. We're literally bringing coaching to your employees. If you're intrigued, we'll have a link in each one of our episodes where you can get more information. And again, thank you so much for listening to another episode.